Hello everyone. Welcome back to JK and JM Buzz. Have you ever watched something with almost no grand dialogue, no dramatic scenes, no emotional explosions, yet somehow it leaves your chest feeling full? As if something gently presses from within, not because of what you see, but because of what you feel. The latest episode of Are You Sure does exactly that. It isn't loud. It isn't flashy. It doesn't try to captivate in an aggressive way. Instead, it slowly draws us into a quiet space, a space where every glance, every small movement, even every shared silence between Jimin and Jungkook speaks far louder than words. This isn't about what they say, but about how they exist together. About a quiet intimacy, one that doesn't ask to be believed, doesn't try to explain itself, yet somehow feels impossible to ignore. If you've ever felt that there's something there, whenever Jimin and Jungkook simply sit side by side without saying much, then this story is for you. These episodes gently guide us into a kind of calm rarely found on screen. There are no emotional outbursts, no grand speeches. There is only presence, simple togetherness that feels deeply meaningful. Their small moments don't try to look important, yet precisely because of that, they feel far deeper than ordinary scenes. The silence they share has a way of working quietly. It slips in without warning, warms your chest, and then stays. Comfort grows slowly, as if we're witnessing something meant to be private, yet sincerely allowed to be seen. Not to be judged, not to be justified, simply to exist. It's there that we find the softest and most honest side of Jikook so far. A closeness that doesn't seek validation, doesn't ask for recognition, doesn't try to convince anyone. It exists as it is, calm, natural, and full of safety. Like two souls who have known each other for a long time, no longer needing words to understand one another. They share space, share time, even share silence without the slightest hint of awkwardness. This isn't closeness meant to be displayed, nor intimacy built for the camera. Quite the opposite, this is quiet intimacy. The kind that is hardest to fake, and therefore hardest to ignore. In fleeting glances, in close distances that still feel safe, in small movements that almost go unnoticed, there lies a trust that can only grow from long togetherness. So much remains unspoken, yet everything feels unmistakably clear. A story told not through dialogue, but through presence. And perhaps that's what makes these moments so unforgettable. We don't just watch them, we feel them. As if, without realizing it, we're invited to witness something real, warm, and deeply human. There's a pattern that almost always appears whenever Jimin and Jungkook are together. A pattern so familiar that fans can predict it before it even unfolds. Jimin arrives with an idea that sounds impossible, spontaneous, reckless, often defying logic. And Jungkook, he sighs, furrows his brow, complains for a moment, and then follows anyway. This time, the idea truly defied common sense, standing upside down on a kayak, a small boat floating on unpredictable water. To anyone holding on to basic logic, it sounded like an invitation to chaos. Standing upside down here? Jimin asked innocently, his eyes sparkling like a child who had just discovered a new game. No way, Jungkook replied quickly, pure instinct, his survival mode kicking in. Wanna see? Jimin challenged. And that's where everything changed. A brief pause. Eyes meet. Jimin's mischievous smile. Jungkook's expression caught somewhere between "this is insane" and "but it's Jimin." He knows how stories like this usually end. He could refuse, stay rational, insist. But he also knows one thing: when Jimin smiles like that, it's as if the world loses its stop button. This is their most endearing dynamic. Jimin as a sweet spark of chaos, living off spontaneity and small acts of courage. Jungkook as the loyal follower who pretends to be rational, even though his heart has already moved ahead. He may say no way, but his body is already preparing. And before he fully realizes it, he's standing right behind Jimin, ready to fall, ready to laugh, ready to join the madness. Not because he doesn't know the risks, but because with Jimin, even the wildest ideas feel worth trying. And it's true, Jungkook almost always loses before the game even begins. Every time Jimin says, "Come on, challenge me," Jungkook bursts into laughter. It's such a simple phrase, yet somehow irresistibly cute when it comes from Jimin. Even sweeter is how Jungkook keeps mimicking the way Jimin says it, on the way back, between laughs, all the way to their accommodation. There's a genuine warmth there, an unplanned admiration. Somewhere between affection and surrender, Jungkook gives into the little things that belong only to Jimin, his spontaneous bravery, his distinctive tone, and his way of making the world feel lighter. These are the small details that often go unnoticed. Jungkook immediately offers to hold the camera, while Jimin prepares the candles. Jimin makes sure Jungkook's wish candle is lit first. Jungkook turns the camera without being asked so Jimin can start recording right away. No grand dialogue, no dramatic gestures, just attentiveness turned into habit. For those who notice, this is their love language. Not the kind that's announced, but the kind that grows from long friendship and mutual understanding. They don't try to look sweet, they simply are, naturally. There's also a brief moment when they exit a restaurant in Vietnam. The staff line up neatly, escorting them with polite smiles. No cheers, no commotion. Yet their steps feel closer, the atmosphere warmer. Without words, everyone present becomes a silent witness to a genuine closeness. And when night falls, when the world slows down and defenses soften, that's when the most honest moments appear. In a dimly lit room, they're seen lying on the same bed. Jimin is busy with his phone. Jungkook moves closer, narrowing the already tiny distance. Spontaneously, he pulls Jimin into his arms. The arm wrapped around that slim waist isn't a grand gesture. It's a hug that says, "I'm here." Was there a kiss? The camera doesn't confirm it. And that's exactly where its power lies. Because not everything needs to be shown to be felt. In the end, Jikook has always been about the little things. About attention that isn't announced. Closeness that isn't displayed. Togetherness that doesn't need explaining. They don't have to prove anything. Being themselves is more than enough. And perhaps that's where their true beauty lies. In quiet moments that almost slip by, yet linger the longest. In an intimacy that doesn't shout but whispers, and somehow sounds far stronger. See you in the next video. Stay with JK and JM Buzz, where quiet intimacy speaks the loudest.